You eat fast food. I eat fast food. 300 million Americans eat fast food, and not a single one of us has any idea what's actually going on behind those counters. The chemicals in your fries, the surveillance in the drive-thru, the stuff in your meat that labs can't even identify. These are 101 dark secrets the fast food industry really doesn't want you to hear. 1. Drive-thru headsets are always on. Even when you think the employee hasn't taken your order yet, the microphone is live and people inside can hear every word. Every argument, every private conversation, every embarrassing thing you've said, sitting in that line thinking nobody was listening. They heard all of it. 2. Lab studies found fecal bacteria in nearly half of all fast food fountain drink machines tested. Half. That free refill you're so excited about might come with a side of something that belongs in a sewer system, not a paper cup. Still thirsty? Thought so. 3. Natural flavors. On a fast food label can legally include castoreum, a secretion from beaver glands used to imitate vanilla and strawberry taste. Your shake might owe its flavor profile to the rear end of a semi-aquatic rodent, and the FDA considers that perfectly acceptable. Nature is wild. So is the labeling system. 4. Some drive-thrus now use license plate readers and facial recognition cameras to identify returning customers and predict their usual orders. You haven't even rolled your window down and they already know what you want. That convenience is being powered by surveillance tech, and your face is the loyalty card. 5. McDonald's Sprite hits like a weapon because they pre-chill both the syrup and the water separately, then use a higher syrup ratio than standard. Most chains just connect the bag and hope. Nobody ever asked them to engineer a Sprite that aggressive, but they did it anyway and your taste buds have never been the same. 6. A growing number of restaurants on delivery apps don't physically exist. They're ghost kitchens, shared industrial spaces where your trendy-sounding order is cooked right next to a completely different brand's food. That exclusive restaurant you discovered online might be operating from the back corner of a kitchen you'd never step foot in. 7. Drive-thrus use speed-of-service timers, tracking how fast each car clears the window. Take too long deciding? Some spots will ask you to pull forward just to stop the clock and fake better stats for corporate. Your moment of indecision is messing with someone's performance review. Order faster or cost someone their bonus. 8. Ireland's Supreme Court straight up ruled that Subway bread has too much sugar to legally qualify as bread. A real court in a real country looked at a Subway roll and reclassified it as confectionery. So every healthy sub you've ever eaten was technically served on what the law considers cake. Feels good, right? 9. Taco Bell's seasoned beef only needs about 36% actual meat to meet federal standards. The rest of the lineup includes water, oats, soy lecithin, and a roster of chemicals doing serious overtime. You're not getting a beef burrito. You're getting a science fair entry wrapped in a tortilla that costs $4. 10. Dimethylpolysiloxane is added to frying oil at most major chains to stop it from foaming. That same compound is a key ingredient in silly putty and silicone caulk. So your chicken nuggets and your bathroom sealant share a chemical bond. Heartwarming stuff. 11. Scrambled eggs. At most fast food chains don't start as eggs. They arrive in sealed bags as a liquid product blended with preservatives and something called premium crumb base. Nobody in the industry has ever clearly explained what that is. Your breakfast sandwich was born as a yellow mystery fluid, and everyone just shrugged. 12. Red and yellow dominate fast food branding for a reason that has nothing to do with creativity. Those two colors are psychologically proven to trigger hunger and urgency in the human brain. Every random craving you've caught near a drive-thru was manufactured by a color palette. Free will never stood a chance against that logo. 13. A single Wendy's Baconator packs almost 1,900 milligrams of sodium, which is more than what most doctors recommend for an entire day. One sandwich? That's it. Your whole sodium budget, gone in 8 bites between 2 pieces of bread. And the worst part is, you'd probably still order it again tomorrow. 14. Most fast food tomatoes are harvested green and then gassed with ethylene inside a warehouse until they blush red enough to fool you. They were never ripened on a vine by sunlight. That slice on your burger was chemically pressured into looking edible, which honestly sounds like a metaphor for the entire industry. 15. Panera marketed itself as the clean-eating hero of fast food until somebody checked and discovered their mac and cheese packs over 1,000 calories and nearly 2,500 milligrams of sodium. Health food. This is not. It's a coronary event dressed in earth tones and pretending to enjoy jazz at a bookstore. 16. That extra scoop of fries Five Guys dumps into your bag? Feels generous. It's not. It's a brand strategy that costs the company about 12 cents and buys your emotional loyalty for life. Nobody is being nice to you in there. You're being psychologically seduced by a calculated handful of potatoes. 17. A lot of premium chicken at fast food chains is held together by transglutaminase, which the industry casually refers to as meat glue. It bonds scraps and leftover trimmings into something that looks like a real cut. That grilled breast on your tray might be a Frankenstein project from the spare parts bin. 18. Panda Express orange chicken packs more sugar per serving than a full-size Hershey's bar. You walked in thinking dinner. You walked out having eaten candy with a soy sauce costume on. The fortune cookie should have just said, "You've been tricked," and left it at that. 19. Chain chicken nuggets contain less than 50% actual chicken meat. The remainder is a blend of fat, cartilage, bone fragments, connective tissue, and nerves, all ground up and pressed into cute little shapes. What you're dipping in ranch is basically the entire chicken's autobiography, not just the good chapters. 20. Workers at multiple chains have admitted that decaf is frequently just regular coffee because nobody wants to brew a whole pot for 2 customers. If you've ever ordered decaf at a drive-thru and then spent the night staring at the ceiling, you were unknowingly drafted into a caffeine experiment you never signed up for. 21. Subway's tuna was hit with a lawsuit claiming it contained 0 identifiable tuna DNA. The lab results? Inconclusive. Scientists literally could not determine what species was in the sandwich. When trained professionals with microscopes give up trying to identify your lunch, that's probably the universe telling you something. 22. McDonald's gets a different Coca-Cola syrup formula than what goes into store-bought cans and bottles. The syrup-to-water ratio is a classified agreement between 2 megacorporations that you were never supposed to know about. That's why their Coke hits different. Because it literally is different. End of mystery. 23. Domino's once ran a national ad campaign openly admitting their pizza had been terrible for years, and they absolutely knew it the whole time. They aired real focus groups trashing the product on camera. Only in the fast food universe is publicly confessing that you knowingly sold garbage considered a genius rebrand. 24. Freshly brewed coffee at Dunkin' can reportedly sit in those pots for up to 18 hours before getting tossed, according to former employees. That cup you grabbed on your morning commute might have been sitting there since yesterday's lunch rush. It's seen more of the day than you have. Respect your elders. 25. Sonic's Nugget Ice is porous and melts way faster than regular cubes, which means your drink disappears quicker and you're more likely to order another. That addictive crunch is not a bonus feature. It's a profit mechanism. Every satisfying chew is draining your cup and filling a cash register at the same time. 26. Little Caesars hot and ready pizzas can sit under heat lamps for hours. Former employees have said some pies outlast entire shift changes and still get handed over with a straight face. Your $5 pizza might have been there longer than the person who sold it to you, and neither of them looked particularly fresh. 27. KFC gravy is made from the burnt, crusty residue scraped off the bottom of chicken fryers at the end of the day, mixed with water and powder. All that grime from hours of frying gets recycled into your side dish. It's the world's least glamorous second act, and somehow millions of people keep ordering it. 28. Arby's roast beef shows up at each location as a compressed gel-like paste vacuum-sealed in a bag. It slow cooks for hours until it starts to resemble something a human might call meat. Employees have posted pre-cooked photos online, and honestly, horror movie prop departments could take notes. "We have the meats" is generous. 29. A lot of chain restaurants pump artificial food aromas through their vents and out into the parking lot. That warm, impossible-to-resist smell of fresh fries luring you from your car? Not from any kitchen. It's from a scent diffuser. Your nose got played before your hand even touched the door handle. Welcome to the trap. 30. The words artisan and handcrafted on fast food menus have absolutely zero legal definition. None. A factory robot could build your wrap, and they can still legally slap handcrafted on the box. Every artisan item you've ever felt fancy ordering was a regular item with better typography. 31. A lot of fast food beef is treated with carbon monoxide gas to keep it looking bright cherry red, long past its prime. The meat on your tray could be days old and still look freshly cut because it's been cosmetically color-corrected. Freshness? Nah. What you're seeing is a chemical makeover on aging protein. 32. Wrappers and containers at most fast food joints have tested positive for PFAS, known as forever chemicals, that never break down in the environment or in your body. Every time you hold that burger wrapper, it's depositing permanent chemical traces into your skin and your food. You two are bonded now. Literally forever. 33. The 2019 Popeyes chicken sandwich launch caused fistfights, a stabbing, and drive-thru lines so long they blocked actual traffic. People called in sick to work just to stand in line. A fried chicken sandwich created civic disruption at a national level. America really said, "This is the hill I'm willing to fight on." 34. The FDA legally allows up to 60 insect fragments per 100 grams of chocolate before flagging contamination. Fast food desserts absolutely ride that limit. So if you've consumed enough shakes and sundaes over the years, you've definitely eaten more bug parts than your brain is currently willing to accept. Sorry about that. 35. Every "my pleasure" at Chick-fil-A is a corporate directive borrowed from Ritz-Carlton hotel training. It's not spontaneous warmth. Employees are required to say it instead of "you're welcome." That lovely moment of genuine human connection you felt? Rehearsed, mandated, and enforced through company policy. Still pleasant, though. 36. Nobody in any fast food kitchen is hand-crisping your bacon on a griddle. It arrives pre-cooked from a factory, rock-solid frozen, and gets zapped in a microwave for a few seconds before landing on your bun. That strip was manufactured in a processing plant weeks ago. Your fresh bacon upgrade is a reheated fossil. 37. Hardee's Monster. Thick burger weighs in at 1,420 calories and 107 grams of fat. That's more than an entire day's recommended intake in one meal. They literally named it Monster, and people treated that as a challenge instead of a warning. Somewhere along the way, America confused a nutrition label with a dare. 38. The fast food industry dumps over $5 billion a year into advertising in the US alone. More than the GDP of entire nations, all focused on convincing you to eat what you already know is bad for you. And based on your most recent drive-thru receipt, they're getting a spectacular return on that investment. 39. McDonald's makes more money from owning real estate than from selling food. They own the land under the restaurants and lease it to franchisees. So every Big Mac you buy is partially someone's rent payment to a corporate landlord disguised as a clown. You're funding a real estate empire one combo meal at a time. 40. Fast food orange juice comes from concentrate stored in industrial tanks for up to a year. The flavor storage destroys gets patched back in using chemically engineered flavor packs. That bright, zesty morning glass is a Frankenstein reconstruction of something that vaguely remembers being an orange once. Fresh squeezed is doing a lot. 41. Chick-fil-A pulls in more revenue per location than any other fast food chain in America while being completely closed every Sunday. 6 days of chicken outselling 7 days of everyone else. That's not a restaurant. That's a power move with waffle fries. 42. Wendy's Chili's starts its life as hamburger patties that dried out on the grill and couldn't be sold as burgers. They get chopped up, tossed in a pot, and reborn as comfort food. It's basically a support group for failed meat products. Every spoonful is a second chance nobody asked for. 43. The lettuce on your fast food burger was washed in a chlorine solution before it got anywhere near the bun. Same family of chemicals keeping your neighbor's pool sparkling blue. Technically safe. Technically. But crisp garden lettuce hits real different once you know it took a chemical bath first. 44. Ever wonder why fast food side salads stay miraculously crisp inside those plastic bowls for days? Many chains spray their greens with propylene glycol to preserve the crunch. That's the exact same chemical compound used to make engine antifreeze and e-cigarette liquid. You ordered health, but you got a mechanic special. 45. Nearly every signature sauce at every major burger chain is just Thousand Island dressing wearing a fake mustache. Big Mac sauce, In-N-Out spread doesn't matter. Ketchup, mayo, and relish doing a group project under a fancy alias. The biggest secret about secret sauce is that there's nothing secret about it. 46. A venti. Caramel Frappuccino at Starbucks contains more sugar than 3 Snickers bars combined. People will absolutely judge you for eating candy at your desk, but walk into a conference room carrying what is functionally a melted sundae with a straw and an Italian name. The double standard tastes like whipped cream. 47. Burger King once ran a promo offering a free Whopper to anyone who unfriended 10 people on Facebook. The app sent notifications to every person who got cut, telling them they'd been dumped for a sandwich. Over 230,000 friendships got torched before Facebook shut it down. Beef beat human connection. 250,000 times. 48. A lot of ground beef in fast food contains what the industry calls lean, finely textured beef, and the rest of us call pink slime. It's a paste made from scraps and connective tissue, treated with ammonia, then blended into your patty. It will never appear on any menu board, but it's in there, quietly. 49. FEMA uses a real metric called the Waffle House Index to measure how bad a disaster is. If a Waffle House closes, the situation is officially catastrophic because those places never shut down. Part of America's emergency preparedness strategy depends on whether scattered hash browns are still available. And that's not a joke. 50. That medium drink you ordered today? It holds about the same amount a large did 20 years ago. Sizes across the industry have silently ballooned over the decades, so you feel moderate while consuming what used to be the maximum. Even the cup is gaslighting you, and it's been doing it for years. 51. Papa John's former CEO got booted after using a racial slur on a conference call that was literally about how to prevent PR disasters. During sensitivity training. Then he spent millions on TV spots claiming he was the real victim. The irony was so dense, it could have been sold as a pizza topping. 52. Several chains use cellulose, a filler made from processed wood pulp, in their shredded cheese, buns, and sauces. Actual tree fiber in your food. Your cheeseburger has more in common with a lumberyard than a farm, and the ingredient label buries it right where they know you'll never look. 53. Chains switched from cooking fries in beef tallow to soybean oil decades ago, and it had nothing to do with health. It was cheaper, dramatically cheaper. Your fries used to taste better and you lost that flavor so a corporation could save pennies per gallon. Nobody apologized. Nobody even mentioned it. 54. Fast food locations near hospitals consistently report higher sales than the chain average. Their late-night regulars are exhausted families and burned-out nurses running on caffeine and desperation. The saddest drive-thru line in America is the one across from an emergency room at 3 a.m., and it's always packed. 55. Dairy Queen trains every employee to flip blizzards upside down before handing them over. Feels like showmanship, right? In reality, the product's stabilizer-to-gum ratio is specifically calculated to barely survive the flip every time. Even that fun little gravity stunt is a chemistry trick wearing a smile. 56. Your fresh fast food meal traveled an average of 1,500 miles to reach you. Ingredients crossed multiple states in refrigerated trucks, sat in distribution warehouses, and passed through dozens of hands before landing on your tray. Local drive-thru is the most misleading phrase in the English language. 57. Many major fast food chains quietly source their meat and dairy from agricultural programs that rely heavily on prison labor. Inmates are paid literal pennies an hour to process the cheap ingredients that make up your dollar menu. The darkest secret of your value meal is that it's heavily subsidized by modern indentured servitude. 58. Self-order kiosks are designed using what interface designers call dark patterns. Pre-checked upgrades, strategic button placement, default upsells, all engineered to inflate your total without you noticing. You feel like you're in control standing at that screen. You're being steered. Every tap was predicted. 59. Notice how fast food dining rooms always feel freezing? That's not a broken thermostat. Lower temperatures make people eat faster and leave sooner, which directly increases table turnover. You weren't just uncomfortable. You were being quietly evicted by a climate setting. The building itself wants you out. 60. One large milkshake at most chains runs past 1,200 calories. More than 2 full meals. And the cashier will still ask if you want to go large, like you haven't already declared open warfare on every organ in your body just by pulling into this parking lot. 61. Order food through a delivery app and you'll pay 15 to 30% more than in-store prices. Chains inflate the numbers to cover platform fees and protect their margins. You're paying a premium for the privilege of not wearing pants. And every party involved profits from that arrangement except you. 62. Azotocarbonamide, a compound used in yoga mats and shoe soles, was found in the bread at several major chains. Subway got publicly torched when a blogger broke the story. Your sub was being served on something that had more in common with gym flooring than a bakery. Namaste. 63. Jimmy John's founder got caught posing with dead elephants and endangered animals on trophy hunting trips. The freaky fast sandwich mogul was out collecting protected species like souvenirs. Once those photos went viral, the backlash was immediate and ugly. Safari kills and sandwich brands do not mix well. 64. Ever eat at a fast food place and feel weirdly rushed the whole time? The hard chairs, the cold lighting, the sharp color temperature, all of it is calibrated to create low-level discomfort. They want you chewing fast and heading for the exit. This isn't a restaurant experience. It's an eviction with ketchup packets. 65. Entire teams of food scientists at major chains are paid to find the exact salt-sugar-fat combination that makes your brain light up. The industry calls it the bliss point. That craving isn't hunger. It's a neurological reaction engineered in a lab by people who went to college specifically to make you unable to say no. 66. Fast food is the #1 industry in America for wage theft. Shaved time cards, forced off-the-clock prep, denied overtime. Your dollar menu stays cheap partly because the hands that made it weren't fully paid for making it. That's the dark math behind every value meal, and nobody prints it on the receipt. 67. Over a lifetime, the average American eats roughly 50,000 fast food meals. 50,000. If that were a relationship, you'd be celebrating a golden anniversary. You'd owe alimony. You'd need couples therapy with a Wendy's drive-thru. And honestly, both of you would have valid complaints by this point. 68. Chipotle goes through approximately 100 million pounds of avocados every year, costing them over $400 million. That guac upcharge everyone complains about isn't corporate greed. It's survival-level accounting against a supply chain that operates like a cartel. Avocados run this game, quietly. 69. Until recently, many fast food chains enforced non-compete clauses on minimum wage workers, legally blocking them from taking jobs at rival restaurants. An employee making $8 an hour couldn't leave for a better offer across the street. That's not an employment agreement. That's a cage with a branded name tag. 70. That perfectly timed coupon from a fast food app right when your willpower was lowest. Not a coincidence. These apps track purchase history, GPS, and behavioral patterns to target you at your weakest moment. That great deal was calculated by an algorithm that knows your habits better than your closest friend does. 71. Eye-tracking studies showed customers look at the upper right corner of a menu first. So chains put their highest margin items right there. It's called menu engineering, and it means your order was psychologically guided before you even finished reading. The entire board is a trap. You just thought you were choosing. 72. Most fast food fish sandwiches are made from a bottom-dwelling species called hoki that nobody in the seafood industry wanted until someone figured out that enough breading and tartar sauce makes anything passable. Your filet-o-fish is basically a deep ocean reject that got deep-fried into a career it never earned. 73. Those grill marks on your Burger King Whopper? Factory stamped onto frozen patties in a warehouse weeks before they reach the store. The flame-grilled taste is a chemical additive, not fire. Absolutely nothing about that char is real, except the money you paid for believing it was. 74. Limited time only. Items at most chains aren't limited at all. They rotate the same products on and off the menu to manufacture urgency and trigger impulse purchases. That rare, seasonal favorite comes back whenever the economics make sense. The scarcity is staged. Your panic order was the entire point. 75. Fast food corporations spend millions lobbying against calorie transparency laws, stricter inspections, and minimum wage hikes every single year. They fight regulation with more intensity than they fight bacteria in their kitchens. The biggest item they're protecting isn't on any menu. It's the margin behind every item on the menu. 76. When you see real cheese on a fast food wrapper, know that the product often contains less than 51% actual cheese. The rest is oil, emulsifiers, and modified starches that mimic the look and melt of cheese without being cheese. What's sitting on your burger is a cheese-flavored performance, not cheese. 77. Taco Bell's entire menu is basically 8 core ingredients rearranged into 50-plus configurations. Same beef, same cheese, same tortilla, just folded, stacked, or crunched into new geometry each time. They didn't build a diverse menu. They solved a Rubik's Cube with ground beef and sour cream, and charged you separately for every shape. 78. Chick-fil-A franchise operators are contractually banned from owning any other business. No side hustles. No investment properties. You either devote your entire professional existence to chicken, or you're out of the program. That isn't a franchise agreement, that's a monogamous vow to a bird sandwich. 79. Fast food salads routinely pack more calories, sodium, and fat than the burgers they're supposedly replacing. Ordering a Southwest salad over a Big Mac doesn't save you anything except the satisfaction of pretending. You chose health. Health chose violence. The nutrition label doesn't care about your intentions. 80. Notice how every price on a fast food menu ends in 99 or 0.49. Your brain registers $4.99 as significantly cheaper than $5, even though the gap is 1 cent. Every single price on that board is a psychological trick. You have genuinely never made a fully rational decision at a drive-thru window. Never. 81. The premium and deluxe versions of most menu items use the same exact base ingredients as the budget options, just with a leaf of lettuce, a tomato slice, or a different bun. You're paying $2 to $3 extra for a garnish and a word. The upgrade is real on the receipt. Nowhere else. 82. After COVID, dozens of chains permanently closed their dining rooms and blamed public health. The real reason? Slashing labor costs. Fewer workers needed, no restroom upkeep, no lobby cleaning. They used a pandemic as cover to restructure operating expenses, and the public just accepted it without a fight. 83. Wendy's made fresh, never frozen their entire brand identity. That slogan only applies to beef patties. The chicken, the fish, the fries, virtually everything else has been frozen at some point. One very carefully worded claim doing the heavy lifting for an entire kitchen full of frozen inventory. 84. The caramel coloring in most fast food sodas contains 4-MEI, a compound flagged in multiple studies as a potential carcinogen. California actually requires cancer warning labels on products over a certain threshold. That familiar brown tint in your cola might be contributing more to your future medical bills than your actual meal. 85. Starbucks uses Italian sizing names specifically because unfamiliar terminology causes customers to default to larger, pricier options. Venti just means 20. That's it, 20 ounces. But confusion sells better than clarity, and that language barrier between you and your wallet was built on purpose. 86. An order of McDonald's fries contains 19 individual ingredients. 19. For what should logically be potatoes, oil, and salt. Buried in that list are petroleum-based preservatives and silicone derivatives. It's a chemistry experiment that just happens to taste like a religious experience, and that's part of the problem. 87. Health inspections at most fast food locations happen about twice a year. That leaves 363 days where food safety is entirely in the hands of whoever's working that shift. Whether your meal is safe tonight depends on the energy level of someone on hour 7 of a minimum wage shift. Roll the dice. 88. Burger King patties tested positive for horse DNA in European markets. The company blamed suppliers and acted stunned, because in corporate crisis management, shock is always the first move. The Whopper was leading a double life overseas, and apparently nobody in charge thought to check. Classic monarchy behavior. 89. Chipotle got caught pressuring managers to cut portion sizes behind the scenes while running ads about generous servings. TikTok blew the whole thing open when customers started filming their burritos being made. Turns out the real secret ingredient wasn't lime or cilantro. It was corporate shrinkflation hiding behind a friendly tortilla. 90. Fast food chains are quietly rolling out digital menu boards specifically to test surge pricing. Just like an Uber ride, your burger will literally cost more during the lunch rush than it does at 3 in the afternoon. They aren't updating technology for your convenience. They're doing it to squeeze you when you're hungriest. 91. When you downloaded that fast food app and tapped Agree without reading, you likely signed away your right to sue them. Forced arbitration clauses are buried deep in the terms. If their food makes you sick, you legally can't go to court. That free app came with a legal trap, and they knew you'd never scroll down. 92. Playgrounds, toy giveaways, and cartoon mascots are not generosity. They are a documented behavioral strategy to build brand loyalty in children before they can make conscious decisions. By the time a kid can read a menu, the attachment is already wired in. They're not feeding your child. They're onboarding a lifetime customer. 93. Classifying workers as crew members instead of cooks or cashiers isn't just fun corporate language. It's a legal maneuver that helps chains sidestep certain labor protections and pay requirements. Renaming the job title doesn't change the work. It just changes what the company legally owes you for doing it. 94. Brain imaging studies on frequent fast food consumers show the same reward center activation patterns seen in substance dependency. Compulsive cravings, inability to stop despite knowing better, identical neural wiring. Your "I just really like fries" might have quietly crossed the line from preference to chemical dependency. 95. Some major chains have hired not chefs or flavor consultants, but behavioral engineers whose entire job is making food more habit-forming. Their professional purpose is to make sure you come back even on the days you swore you wouldn't. The menu isn't just designed to taste good, it's designed to override your willpower. 96. That smoky flavor in most barbecue items doesn't come from any grill or smoker. It's a liquid chemical compound called liquid smoke, sprayed onto the protein during factory processing. Your hickory smoked sandwich has never been within 200 miles of actual fire. The smokehouse is a lab. The flavor is a chemical. 97. American fast food chains throw away an estimated 10 billion pounds of food every year. They would rather dump perfectly edible inventory into dumpsters than risk a lawsuit from donating it. The garbage bins behind these buildings are eating better than millions of people in this country, and that's not an exaggeration. 98. Multiple chains have been caught flooding review platforms with fake positive ratings and flagging legitimate negative reviews for deletion. That glowing 4.2-star rating on your favorite spot might be the most carefully manufactured piece of fiction since the phrase "freshly prepared" on their menu board. 99. Sugar is hidden in nearly every fast food item, including places you'd never suspect. Burger buns, meat seasoning, salad dressing, ketchup, all of it sweetened. You never ordered dessert, but every single component of your savory meal was spiked with sugar to keep your brain locked in and coming back. 100. McDonald's ice cream machines aren't broken. They're designed that way. A massive lawsuit exposed that the manufacturer rigged the machines so only one authorized company could repair them, at thousands per visit. The "sorry, our machine is down" routine isn't bad luck. It's a revenue stream disguised as an inconvenience, and it's been running for decades. 101. 1 in 3 Americans eats fast food on any given day. 1 in 3. These companies know your habits, your timing, your weak spots, and your cravings better than most people you actually know. They've been shaping your preferences since you sat in a plastic high chair eating fries off a tray. And the darkest part? Not a single moment of it ever felt like manipulation. That was 101 reasons to question everything on that menu. Now here's what I want to know. Drop a comment with the number of the fact that genuinely made you say, "I'm done." The one that crossed your personal line. And if this video killed your appetite even once, hit that subscribe button because at least we don't put beaver glands in our content.